family is the most sacred thing on your planet. However, as you advance to higher levels, your soul has somewhat changed. We can no longer strive to connect or understand our loved ones. That is when you passed through the 2012 gateway. So will these enlightened ones continue to advance or return to help their families? Please continue watching episode 25 below. A fundamental view of the future. The era of haves and have-nots has ended. All of you have far exceeded the most optimistic imaginations, because you have been given the key to enter heaven. With the help of those who have ascended, you have regained a fundamental view of the future. You know that peace at this moment is the truth. It will not fade or wither even when winter returns. You see the old world crumbling before your eyes. But this is the last time you are part of prosperity and decline. You can see those who can return to the fundamental view. You can see those who can return to the fundamental view. You can see those who can return to the fundamental view. But this is the last time you are part of the rise and fall of civilizations. You will no longer see humanity develop to its peak, only to collapse once again. The new earth that you feel in your body will remain here. When you are on this side of the 2012 gateway, after December 21st, 2012, you will see the global energy transformation increasing, even as the direct progressive energy of 2012 begins to decline. You know that many great changes are coming, and much of what belonged to the old earth is crumbling. Layer by layer, secured privileges, lobbyists, selfish leaders, collapsing medical models, aging economic systems, and outdated legal systems continue to collapse around you, leaving ruins where great institutions once existed. You do not mourn the loss of these sandcastles. You feel pity for the worshippers within those institutions, believing their salvation lies in wise plans or securing their investment shares. Now you know that these assurances are nothing more than false security. In your fourth density world, you are now living in an extended family or international community. Here, everything of real value grows from fertile soil or flows into the 120-watt solar panels on rooftops. Today, a young inventor comes to your community, demonstrating his zero-point energy device. Until the 2012 gateway, he struggled to operate the device stably. But now, being on this side of the gateway, it seems to work quite stably, though built long ago. The previous negativity against the quantum force no longer exists. The acceptance of unlimited creative interference has come to this community. An verifiable evidence of the immutable law of infinite love has also appeared. The 2012 threshold experience. The reality is that when this was first written, the message receiver was on the other side of the precessional alignment gateway. Although that gateway had appeared faintly before his eyes, earthly reality still drew his mind into issues such as unfulfilled political promises, extreme poverty, radiation spreading from nuclear power plant leaks, ocean pollution from oil spills, erratic weather and uncontrollable massive economic debts. To see through the illusions of the impending world collapse with a bright vision of the future, he began, with our help and thousands of line workers, forming a plan to maximize the opportunity given by the precessional alignment gateway. The first step in preparing to cross the precessional alignment gateway on December 21st, 2012, was gathering the world's line workers at sacred sites across continents. In some places, only a few souls were physically present, while in others, several hundred or even several thousand people came to pray, meditate, sing, dance, and share stories. Holidays were established to prepare individuals as the day approached. During the 3 days from December 20th to 22, 2012, pure food and clean water were brought to the sites along with portable toilets. And if needed, generators to meet essential needs. Transportation vehicles were left behind for 3 days as the souls camped and rested as needed. They could not use their electronic devices. They were content to turn them off and simply be together, often in silence, sometimes with laughter and tears. At some sites, large circles or labyrinths were set up, and various sacred rituals were performed within them. Costumes were worn, microphones were omitted, drums were beaten, and genuine emotions overflowed. People knew what they were waiting for. Some argued that nothing much would change. The day would come and go, they would have a pleasant prayer and dance gathering together. They would return home, back to family, work and responsibilities. From the third density perception perspective, this indeed happened for many people. But even in the most skeptical and practical people, something had changed very profoundly. During those 3 days, time initially seemed to pass very slowly and then stopped. During an indefinite period, the souls together felt a deep, tight embrace of something they couldn't define. It seemed they had always been together, here on the mountaintop or desert. Campfires, labyrinths, tents and instruments were part of a cosmic dance lasting forever. So had it passed by now, or was it still ongoing? As the souls slowly packed up equipment and began the journey back to old life, there was a different feeling that never repeated like that again. The door had opened, they had stepped through, and it closed behind them, never to be visited again in the same way. These souls, who participated in the 3 days of ceremony, were simply different. The world of war, disaster, control, manipulation, agendas, consumerism, and meaningless entertainment no longer seemed real. These souls no longer had anything in common with that world. It is nothing at all, not even clear if it exists or not. The world they experienced within the sacred circle for those 3 days was more real than anything they had ever experienced in their lives. Some souls had attended many seminars aimed at promoting personal development and intensive events over the years. They understood well the temporary high energy state that occurs when like-minded souls gather. They knew all about how it fades after a few days, when they are swept back into the familiar old world of struggle. But this time was completely different. There was no longer energy or will to pursue old patterns of conquest or power. Eagerly, these transformed souls looked forward to the next gatherings in the mountains, or journeys into the desert with their newfound friends. The most difficult lesson for these newly developed souls involved how to face family and friends who did not attend the ceremonies. Some who did not attend the ceremony were fine. Perhaps they had paused and reflected wherever they were, in the city, at the office, or while shopping. In some cases, those who did not escape daily work but were internally aligned were able to detach from the chaos and disturbance in the human crowd. But for most of those returning from the ceremony living with family and friends, communication became more difficult because they were the enlightened ones. Thus, there was a profound shift in values and perception. A family member or lover might approach a transformed soul and scold him for not caring about daily responsibilities while resting. To the enlightened soul, such accusations were baseless, meaningless, and inappropriate. Of course, love and compassion still remained in the newly transformed souls, even more than before, but the attachment to living by the old belief system was severed. But the awakened soul remains in the world without belonging to it anymore. It became evident to many newly awakened souls that some friends and family members would not accompany them on the journey to higher realities. And so, the process of letting go, forgetting, and releasing loved ones began. Many regrets were expressed and reconciled. The enlightened knew that these people had chosen a different path and that path must be respected. Everything the transformed souls did became a model for the new way of living. It was set up for each family member to decide whether to join or part ways. Before the gate opened, many souls had heard about the immortality of the body, longevity, mystical healing, and natural resurrection. But such ideas sounded like the products of delusional people, or perhaps hallucinations of those who refused to face death in their own way. These things happened to a few saints or sages, who meditated for hours each day, but would never happen to me. That was the frequent refrain in those days. But now something very interesting has happened. Persistent aches that lasted for years have disappeared. Much energy runs up and down the spine, even during low energy periods. What was once considered far-fetched thoughts now seem real in our lives. And the saying, "Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it," suddenly became the new law of the world. There are many things that appear simultaneously that the enlightened soul may not notice, things that happen that no imagination could create. It's not a case of being too wonderful to be believable as the truth. No longer does it feel like a great paths have fallen off and negative karma will accumulate, crushing everything in its path. No, reality has changed. The forces that once extinguished thoughts of hope and happiness in the past have now lost their power. It seems that a large portion of Earth's population, the most negative people, have suddenly disappeared. They no longer exist in this new reality, at least energetically. Those experiencing disconnection from the old world are reminded of a movie they once watched. In the film, people with true souls appear in vibrant colors, while others appear in black and white. Although they know that all beings have souls, they begin to wonder if the souls of many people in the world have departed, leaving behind empty shells. Now, it seems there are two separate worlds. One world of autonomous, vibrant, and full of life souls, and one world of empty shells going through life activities without truly living. Density 4 souls are still human. They will experience emotions different from pure joy and ecstasy, but no longer identify with the soul. Simple feelings and impressions come and go like the wind. Density 3 humans still have souls, but they are trapped in the drama of daily life, and increasingly less interactive with enlightened souls. In reality, there are now 3 worlds. For those on the path of ascending to Density 5, they begin to see things never seen before. These are living tree branches with creatures of all shapes and colors. You can actually hear the thoughts of the wind as it whispers through the trees. Everything vibrates and shimmers, not only with light but with thought. A deep sense of unity in all things. Although newly ascended people can still see and hear people in Earth's Density 4, it's clear these people cannot see and experience reality in Density 5. As time passes and the alignment begins to shift out of position, people notice changes happening frequently. Enlightened people simply don't return to their old ways of life. Everything in life has been arranged from above, so they have been moved into new positions of responsibility. If they try to resist the soul's higher path, they won't have the energy to continue any choice if that action and idea are based on ego or old thinking. In some cases, the mind simply stops functioning completely. At least for logical thinking, reasoning, analysis, things that once controlled everything. Conversely, whenever a soul acts under higher impulses, aligned with the soul's true purpose, the energy source seems endless. The right people will appear, the right circumstances will appear, It becomes unbelievably easy to make wise choices. Because if this choice comes from the limited perception of the ego, it loses its appeal. They simply feel fear and disgust. But old habits are easily bypassed by the progressive awareness of a density 4 soul. Unexpectedly, smokers no longer crave lighting another cigarette. Bottles of alcohol lose their appeal. A series of health regulations no longer need to be enforced. Beyond ritual purposes, addictive substances are no longer of interest. Mass-produced food is provided not for entertainment. Newly awakened souls are drawn to food. Vibrant and energetic activities serve their development and health. Whenever density 4 souls meet those of density 3, they have nothing in common. The reality is that density 3 souls exist in a black and white world, devoid of vivid colors. Their lives become utterly meaningless to those who have passed through the gate. Enlightened individuals have much love for those not sharing their journey. But no matter how hard they try, they can no longer empathize or sympathize. These two groups of souls now seem to live in two separate realities. As for density 5 souls, they can still connect with density 4. In fact, they have become the teachers of the new earth. Identified with all kinds of negativity to the extent they can clearly see motives in relationships. Simultaneously interacting energetically with their density 4 students. Density 4 souls are grateful for the presence of those who have ascended to density 5. They feel encouraged, loved, and cared for. They know that the journey of ascension is now much easier. When some have overcome barriers to enter true immortality, density 5 souls do not vanish into the light immediately, like the superstition in Christian meditation. They still appear in human form and can interact quite normally with density 4 souls. But their bodies quickly become more radiant and eventually begin to glow brightly. As time passes, they become less sensitive to environmental changes, able to stay awake for long periods and endure large temperature fluctuations. Eventually, they no longer need food or sleep. The view from below. For those stuck in density 3, including souls refusing to be part of the new earth, they seem to view the enlightened as having sunk to the bottom of a swimming pool, or having jumped off a cliff, speaking nonsense and behaving crazily. At one stage, people of the old world feel they have lost their senses, and their loved ones have joined silly environmental movements or spiritual communities. But when unenlightened souls realize they cannot bring their lost siblings back, they resignedly return to their daily routine. Although the institutions they trust are decaying and dying, something the deluded find hard to recognize. Many unenlightened souls fall ill without explanation, seemingly unable to work as before. Doctors may find nothing abnormal, or in some cases, they find everything is amiss. And eventually, illness becomes an accepted norm expected to occur. When the food distribution and supply system begins, it is initially weakly opposed. But quickly, a psychology of surrender takes over, and people decide to yield to this hardship. Density 4 souls leave their density 3 families. As we mentioned in the previous episode, one of the hardest aspects of this transition is cutting ties with family. Many enlightened souls are misunderstood by their blood relatives, and in some cases, even rejected. Sometimes the awakened are publicly ridiculed with the disappointed handshakes of relatives. Other family members conclude that the enlightened are escaping from many problems humans face, that they have chosen a delusional perspective on life that seems unrealistic. Of course, the greatest challenge remains emotional. Family bonds can be very deep, and it quickly becomes apparent to many that this is a long-term and complete separation, at least in this lifetime, with tears shed from both sides. While those trapped in density 3 often hold on to resentment and regret, enlightened souls quickly forget. With support from their new spiritual family and friends, they swiftly resolve the pains and sorrows from the beginning of their journey. As direct workers leave their density 3 families behind, the lives of most density 4 souls begin to improve significantly. Surprisingly, the cloud dissipates and a light of new life shines through, illuminating their minds and hearts. For the first time in their lives, they feel free and relieved, though still facing some challenges as they enter their new life. They are filled with an enthusiasm rarely experienced before. Both idealistic and practical, and full of inspiration, they seize the opportunities before them to build a society that truly meets everyone's needs. They gather into groups, pairs, trios, fours, sixes, tens, dozens, and more. All share a common goal: to build a new Earth, in some cases from scratch. Sometimes with the support of advanced technology and experts from various fields of research. Certainly, the journey to build a new Earth is still long and clearly not an easy task. So let's follow the challenges the enlightened face, and see if anything emerges to help them. All will be covered in episode 26 of the Messages from the Creators series. For now, hello and wish you a day filled with joy. Subscribe to the Gian Migo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.